Silc began its journey when the people who were living in Tokanui Hospital began their journey to come home. So it was a time in 1991 when institutions were looking to be closed and people were looking to be able to return to their local communities, to set up their own home, to be able to begin to belong again in the communities that they hadn't lived in for very many years.
We're all capable of being purveyors of injustice in our actions, in our beliefs, and more dangerously in our thoughts, values and ethics. We all experience injustice in our lives. It's how we act on those injustices that shape who we are, our beliefs, our values, our ethics. We don't recognise these things until there is an opportunity, maybe a reason, to stop and take stock.
Just for today, I know what can happen here.
I met some young people with disabilities and saw an opportunity to make a difference. I started a new journey. There was a time where the end justified the means, a time when human dignity, respect, the valuing of people in a human sense meant something different for people whose home was in a large institution.
Going to Tokanui was scary. It was like visiting Land of the Living Dead, because as a small child you were greeted with this really sterile environment, and it sounds awful, but all these, you know, deformed people who were different to what I was used to seeing in society, because they were kept in an institution. So you were really taken out of your comfort zone and put in this completely different world. But we were there for the purpose of seeing my sister, who we loved very dearly, and we would take her. First we would go and find her, and that in itself was quite hard, because they had this place called the day room, and there would just be beds all over the floor, and we used to go and try and find Teresa. And it was lovely when we found her, because she always recognised our voice, so we would take her to her room and just spend that time with her, or take her out. But then there came the time when you have to give her back, which, yeah, that was really upsetting. And it still is when I think about it, because, you know, I loved her so much, but we had to leave her there. But I got to take the rest of my family home, but she didn't. So it was hard for me, but I can't imagine how hard it was for Mum and Dad.
What were some of the things you remember about Tokanui?
Lock me up in a side room down a corridor with bolts on the doors, tie 'em out. They would give me a hiding.
So you didn't like it?
No.
So were you allowed in the kitchen?
No, no.
Why? What did they do?
Put a bolt on a fridge.
Okay.
And the doors are locked up, and we can't help ourselves because they were sending us out, and sometimes they give us not enough food.
Surely the community was a better place. There had to be a better way. The passion took hold. There was going to be a better way. 20 years on, the dream is being realised. The odds have been defied. People are having a good life.
Moving out of the restaurant. Peter said to me, "There's no place for you." It got me out of there. I said, "There's no place for you. You're only, what, 49? Peter got the van and said, "Well, we're shifting you to Hartford Ave."
Your brother is coming out of Tokanui. Little did I think that those words spoken to me by my mother almost 19 years ago would be a watershed year for me, marking a change of direction in my life. So I decided to get a job with a local service provider, with a view to sussing them out as to whether they would be able to take on Vern. Right from the start, Peter James spoke to me about Vern in these strange terms of being a valued member of his community, of his having his own home, paying his own living costs, having a bank book, going away on holidays, all of these possibilities that we as a family wanted for Vern, but of which we had no idea of how to achieve.
Fry up my own tea, my own breakfast, my own lunch, and just help myself in the cupboard. If I need some food, I didn't have to ask, just help myself. If I want a coffee, help myself, just help
Do
it.
that at Tokanui, eh? And so you enjoy living in your house now?
Yes, the freedom.
Yes, my brother has taught me that positive goals allied to positive planning and support can lead to achieving the unthinkable, being a valued member of my community.
So when people were coming back out of Tokanui, one of the things that Pete believed in was not forcing relationships, because there may have been not a big relationship when they were in Tokanui, but that relationships would develop just naturally.
Knowing that we can go there any time of the day, and she's always beautifully cared for, dressed. She's been fed, hasn't she? She's been out and about doing her own thing, and she's living her life day to day. It's fabulous. Yeah.
When people moving from Tokanui went to a home, now it needs to be their home. And we've always said we've never called it a house, we've always called it a home, and very deliberately. So when people arrive home, are they actually feeling that almost a sense of relief of, yeah, I'm home, I can relax, I can be completely myself. Feeling like it's your home, being at home is feeling that sense of achievement when you are involved in doing things and just sit back and go, I did that, looks really good.
You know, their support teams go beyond the realms of just that little bit extra, 110% all the time. We just can't thank them enough for what they've done for our daughter.
I remember Peter saying a long time ago, and I've never forgotten it, the language is cumbersome. Like sometimes in order to really place yourself alongside someone, you may be using far more words than you would but in order to avoid that ownership, in order to really place yourself alongside people, it starts with the language that we use. And we have to be aware of our language all the time, how we communicate with people and how they're communicating with us. Communication's not just about talking, it's also about listening, and sometimes we forget the listening side of things.
What do you want to do for the future?
Well, I might seem to go to Brisbane. Sometimes 7 up.
Why?
Well, well, there's a friend over there who used to support me.
I thought about it and I thought about it. If I'm going to marry this girl, I've better ask her to marry me. Right? I took her hand by the hand and I looked into deep into beautiful, sexy blue eyes and said, darling Sue, would you like to marry me? And she said, of course. I asked her to marry me and answered yes. So Sue alone got an old tea towel, chucked it up in the air, put it on Sue's head, and here comes the bride. An amazing story. Our story is truly romantic from the time we first met in the supermarket.
I've loved being a mum, and since I've had him I've changed a lot, because I used to be too much of a softie, but now I've totally changed because I've got a son to look after. It's taught me patience and that, so it's okay to be, and it makes me more stronger, and it's okay to ask for help when you need help, and it's okay to go for a walk when you need to if you're getting too stressed or overwhelmed. Since I've been here with Silc, I've learnt that I can prepare meals and pay my own bills and can control my own money and not let anyone else to control that money that I earn.
I thought I've never had a wife in my life. My dream and picture for me and my wife is to find a little inn on our own, away in on our own, live in our own unit, do our own gardening, do the lawn,
One place I like to take you, David, that
Now, tell me we want to go to Hong Kong.
Brisbane.
Hello, Teresa. Do you want your normal hot chocolate and a dinner at your favourite spot? We will. Thank you. Lovely to see you.
That 24-hour care has made a huge impact on Teresa's quality of life and the way she can live. If we didn't have Silc, even my children wouldn't have benefited from that. So the learning isn't specific to just families. It has this huge ripple effect. And I don't think you can sort of dismiss that, because in today's world, when you've got multicultural, multi-religion, you know, and there's so many different sorts of people, the more understanding you have, the more tolerance, the more empathy, and I just think it makes for a better world, really.
We're extremely grateful for Peter James and Teresa Jemana's vision of where they want to be, and they're assisting in the disability field. It's made such a humongous difference to our lives.
In the New Zealand context, Silc is a small to medium-sized organisation, and Peter and Teresa have been quite intentional about keeping it that way. From the start, they led from the front, keeping their philosophical leadership very close to the people, and that's one of Silc's unique qualities. It's this special connection between an organisation's leadership and its people that's in danger of being lost as organisations become bigger and bigger.
From the day that Peter started Silc, the emphasis had always been on people living in their homes and in their community. So it was never about Silc, the organisation, it was about people living great lives. When we realised that nobody really knew who Silc was, we didn't see that as a failure. We saw that as a success because we'd done our job. I think that Silc has achieved something quite special, and in a way we would say it's nothing special. What we've done is we've listened to people, and we have tried to work in a way so that they've been able to achieve their dreams. However, I guess in my wider experience and meeting a lot of people and hearing their stories, I think that there is something we have to tell people about listening and about the language that we use and about what does respect look like in a person's home. It's not rocket science, it's about those relationships. New Zealand is a representative of what is happening around the rest of the world. It's people searching for different models. It's we'll try this and we'll try that and we'll try that, and or that didn't work, so we'll try that. And in some places they've gone full circle. In some places they've stood pretty still. And once again, in my head, it's not actually that difficult. It's not about models. You know, models are something that people fit into. This is about shaping shaping something for the person, and that's got to be for each and every individual. So if you support 200 people, then you're using 200 models, you're not using one.
I had found other people who understand, who have the same passion, people who are not paralysed by convention, by sameness, people with tenacity, people with a true commitment to making a difference. Amazing people are assisting amazing people to have good lives, a life where possibilities have been realised, a life of endless possibilities. It's not science, it's not bureaucracy, it's not service specs. It's the art of being human. It's about people, people, people.
just for today. I don't want to bother you. Just for today, I stand on my own again. It's just one of those days. You need to know that I will be okay. Just for today, I know what can happen here. Just for today, my feet, they are happy here. And it's just one of those days. You need to know that it will be okay. And I know I was not the same yesterday, but today feels like this will be okay. And I will be okay, for it's just one of those days when Thursday feels like this will be okay. And I will be okay. No, this isn't wrong, just know this isn't right. You know what I'm like, you know what I'm like. I feel this restless rage, I feel this restless rage.